Kurt Lewin's Field Theory. Kurt Lewin was a German-American psychologist who made a big difference in the way we understand human behavior. One of his most famous ideas is called field theory. This theory helps explain why people behave the way they do in different situations. Lewin believed that behavior is not only caused by a person's personality or past experiences but also by their current environment, surroundings, and relationships. To make it easier to understand, he said that behavior is a result of both the person and their environment interacting together at the same time. This may sound simple, but it is actually a powerful way to think about human actions. Lewin used a very useful formula to explain this idea: B equals F, P, E. In this formula, B stands for behavior, P stands for the person, and E stands for the environment. It means that behavior is a function of the person and the environment. In other words, how someone acts depends on who they are and what is happening around them. This idea helped move psychology forward by showing that it is not just what is inside a person that matters, but also what is happening outside, in the world they are living in. To make this clearer, think about a student in school. If the student is well-behaved and does well in one class but is noisy and distracted in another class, field theory would say that the student's behavior changes because of the environment. Maybe one teacher is kind and engaging, while the other is strict and unapproachable. The student has not changed as a person, but the field, or environment, around them is different, and that affects how they behave. Kurt Lewin used the word field to talk about the total psychological environment someone experiences. The field includes all the things that affect a person at a certain time. It could include their goals, fears, friends, family, school, work, culture, and even their mood. The field is always changing, and people are always reacting to it. Just like a magnetic field can pull or push things depending on where you are standing, the psychological field pulls or pushes people in different directions depending on their current situation. One key idea in field theory is the life space. The life space includes the person and everything in their psychological field. It includes their thoughts, feelings, goals, and the things they see as possible or impossible. When someone makes a decision or takes an action, it is based on what is happening in their life space at that moment. For example, if someone wants to become a doctor, their life space may include school, exams, family support, financial pressure, and their own motivation. All of these things work together to influence how the person behaves and what choices they make. Lewin also talked about how different forces inside the life space can either help or stop a person from reaching their goals. These forces can be called driving forces and restraining forces. Driving forces push a person toward their goals, while restraining forces hold them back. For example, if someone wants to lose weight, driving forces might include wanting to feel healthier or fit into old clothes. Restraining forces might include lack of time to exercise or craving unhealthy food. Behavior happens when all of these forces come together in a balance. If the driving forces are stronger, the person is more likely to move forward. If the restraining forces are stronger, the person may feel stuck. This idea is very useful when trying to create change, whether it is in a person's life, in a classroom, or even in an organization. Lewin believed that in order to bring about change, we need to reduce the restraining forces and increase the driving forces. This is part of what he called change management, which became popular in business, education, and social work. He even came up with a model called unfreeze, change, refreeze. This means that to make lasting changes, we must first unfreeze the current situation, make the needed changes, and then refreeze the new situation to make it stable. This model is still used today in many fields. Lewin's field theory also helps us understand group behavior. He said that groups are not just collections of individuals. Groups have their own fields, their own goals, and their own dynamics. How people act in a group depends on their position in the group and how the group is functioning. This is why people may act differently in a group than they do when they are alone. Group norms, expectations, and roles all play a part in shaping behavior within the group's field. One of the most important things about field theory is that it is focused on the present. Instead of always looking into a person's past to explain their actions, Lewin said we should look at the present situation. What is happening right now in the person's life space? What goals are they trying to reach? What obstacles are in their way? What supports do they have? This approach makes it easier to understand and help people because it is based on what is real and happening at the moment. Lewin's ideas are not just useful in psychology. They are also helpful in education, counseling, business, and social change. Teachers can use field theory to understand why students behave a certain way and how to create better learning environments. Managers can use it to help employees succeed by improving the workplace. Counselors can use it to help clients understand their behavior and make positive changes. Activists and community workers can use it to reduce social barriers and create opportunities for growth. Kurt Lewin was more than just a theorist. He wanted psychology to be practical and helpful. He once said, "There is nothing so practical as a good theory." This means that when we understand why people act the way they do, we can find better ways to help them grow and succeed. His field theory gave us a useful map to understand the complex world of human behavior. In conclusion, Kurt Lewin's field theory teaches us that behavior is not just about the person alone. It is about the interaction between the person and their environment. The field, or life space, includes all the things that affect a person at a given time. Forces in the field can push a person toward or away from their goals. To create positive change, we need to understand and work with both the person and the environment. This theory is not only powerful but also kind and hopeful. It reminds us that people can change, and that change is possible when we understand the whole picture. If you found this explanation helpful and would like to learn more about psychology in simple and clear language, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us continue creating content that educates, inspires, and informs. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to sharing more with you soon.